For the first time in Jamaica, the first time in the Caribbean region, the first time in the Americas and the Western Hemisphere, it's a Red Bull Cark Park drift from the Montego Bay Sports Complex in Catherine Hall, St. James. We are in one of the tourist capitals of the land of wood and water, and we have seen a lot of water in the days leading up to this competition, which is such a contrast to the clear blue skies Jamaica is known for all around the world. We say a pleasant evening for those of you watching all across the world. My name is Donald Oliver, and with me is Garth Holloway, who's extremely excited about tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me this evening, Donald. It's exciting to be here in Montego Bay. It's a spectacular evening for a spectacular event. The crowd is pumped. We're all psyched, and it's going to be so exciting. These gentlemen are vying for a championship that will actually take them to Dubai in the finals, and I'm very excited about that for Jamaica right now.
Yeah, the best 20 drifters in the island after a series of qualifiers are here to grace the final event tonight. And as you said, the winner will be going to Saudi Arabia for the Red Bull Cark Park Drift World Final a little bit later on this year. They have 300 points to play with. We have 3 judges to issue out 100 points each. And that's for the first round, the first of 3.
Absolutely, yes. As you said, we have 3 excellent judges here this evening with us that will be executing and watching keenly to see how these points are going to be properly applied for these rounds.
Well, let's take a look at the rounds and how they'll go about it. The event is split between 3 heats. 20 drivers, of course, as I mentioned before, will hit the track on the first heat, and only the top 8 will move on to the next round, so it's critical that they do well.
That's absolutely right. At the end of the round, 1 driver will be crowned king of the drift though, and that's what we're looking forward to. But as you said, yes, there are several different heats and several obstacles. As a matter of fact, after the very first round, an extra obstacle will be added. So initially there will be 8, and then there will be 9 obstacles in the second round. Yep. So they need to watch out.
Yep, so the second round, 8 drivers. The third round, the top 4. As we take a look at the penalties now, drivers will lose points if they hit the obstacles, drift the wrong way, or spin their car. And if a contestant has 3 penalties to his name, they're going to be disqualified.
That's correct. 3 penalties and you're out. And I don't think that you need more chances than that to get it right out here. These are the best of the best. These are the season's qualifiers, and they know exactly what they're doing tonight.
Yeah, as we take a look at what's going to take place in terms of them trying to get to the very top. Each of the judges will score the races on how well they continuously drift, which of course is the essence of the competition, how they follow the track, and how great the car smokes, as well as so much more.
You're quite right. The judges are looking for continuous drifts, but also judges are looking for impressive exteriors. How big you score with each of the judges is critical for this night, and it's critical for this round right now. I can't wait to go through the drivers list with you, because it's an exciting array of persons that are getting ready to come on.
Yeah, they would have gone through a few qualifiers all across Jamaica to reach here, and this is the top 20 gracing the final. And of course they want to impress, so that they reach the top 8 for the next round. But who stands out for you?
The Montego Bay conglomerate seems to be very strong this evening. There are a lot of newcomers, but off the bat, Nicholas Taz Barnes in his Toyota Corolla AE86 world boss. That's Maurice Whittingham.
Number 20.
Number 20 and number 18. That's off the bat. Ian Wright with right touch racing. These men have been doing it for a long time. They know. And the newcomer, Richard Ramos right now. Ramos number 13 in another Toyota Corolla AE86. The rival tonight that everybody's looking at though is number 10, Mr. Cutter Hype. And that's going to be very exciting later on.
So it's interesting that we see number 20 coming out, of course, last. Is it a matter of they're saving the best for last? Let's see, but you're going to see an exhibition being done now as a car makes its way around the track, just for you to get an idea as to what the drivers will have to do. And I can tell you, not everybody can do this.
No, it's not an easy task. As a matter of fact, the gentleman in the vehicle right now is Johan, a Red Bull driver, one of two Red Bull drivers out of Germany. And they are driving this M Series prepped specifically for this type of event. As a matter of fact, that car belongs to Sizzla Kalangia, a local Jamaican artist.
All right, let's go downstairs and listen in.
Okay, here we are now. This is one of the other obstacles, and this is known as the box. So this box is valued 20 points.
where the drivers will just make one entry, one 360 turn, and then we're out through the gate.
So the challenge here from a driver... Test. We're back. Nice. So the challenge here is the drivers are going to pick up speed from back there, from the first obstacle, and they have to slow the car down here enough to not hit the cones, because those are going to be penalties.
Okay, so this box is valued at 20 points. Now, as we exit the second obstacle, over to your left-hand side, you'll see something sticking out. This is known as a flipper. Yes, a flipper. So we're going to make Joe tell you what you're supposed to do with the car when you get to this point.
What we want to... Test? Okay. What we want to see is the rear end of the car touching those flippers. The left one first, and then without going straight, the right one. Also connecting the second obstacle right into this. So no going in a straight line, everything nice and sideways.
So these flippers are worth 20 points. So they're going to touch it with the left side, and that's the left quarter panel of the car, and then the right quarter panel of the car. And then we're going into another instruction, which is a box. So this box values 20 points, and it is just as similar as to the second instruction that you go to.
The tricky bit with this box is it's very, very tiny. It doesn't look like that, and you come out into this box with a lot of speed from those two flippers. So it's challenging. The next challenge is the exit out of this one. Because if you get it wrong, you set the car up in the wrong line for the ball. And this is a very important one.
So this is known as the ball, aka the pendulum. And this ball here, it values 50 points. And the idea, yes, 50 points. And the idea is that you should be approaching that ball with your car hanging, so the rear quarter panel of your car should be hitting the pendulum, and that values 50 points.
So then you come into this box. Again, it's about speeding up, slowing down, being very precise, and carrying enough speed to have a correct line. Here, box, I think you guys can already figure out what we're doing here. We gotta hurry up a bit. So, after the box, this is tricky and nice, and I think unique even to car park drift. You exit here in drift, and you do enter here in drift as well into what is called the 11.
So as you go through V11, this is valued at 20 points, and the drivers will enter from the drift through here. They'll make a left turn, a sharp hairpin turn, and then they'll go all the way around on the outside here, setting themselves up to go into the spiral, and the spiral is known as a spinner, and that is valued at 20 points.
So I think after that one, that's the end of the track. I hope you guys enjoy. I cannot wait to get this baby started here and see some driving. So let's go, I would say.
Okay, so it all ends in the spiral with 20 points if the drivers execute correctly. So we're now going to go back to the start line where we should have all the drivers standing by. Hit it, Joe.
I don't think you'll get the magnitude of the sights and the sounds as you would have if you were actually at the venue here at the Montego Bay Sports Complex. Just listen to this. Magnificent to watch, magnificent to listen to, and if the drivers can do that and impress, the points will add up.
Quite so. That smoking is definitely a key factor tonight. Smoking those tires and lighting them up, that's what Red Bull is all about. Exciting, giving you wings to fly, and that smoke needs to fly tonight.
But it's something that's really popular in Jamaica in terms of drifting, isn't it? It's obviously not televised live as much. It's a very unique experiencing. It's a very unique experience we're having tonight. But it's something that it's popular in Jamaica.
It's quite popular. It's really underground right now. Drifting is not a circuit race thing. It is normally a late night event that is held by specific sponsors, and it is who is up for the challenge. Not everybody can take out their regular day-to-day car and do this every day. So it's a well-to-do sport. You have to have the finances to buy tires non-stop. So it is fun though, and it's very exciting, and women love it.
Yes, sir.
People, the moment you guys been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, pardon me. This is Autobahn.
So the first car is on the line, ready to take part. Rotor bomb, lined up. Rajay Smith, out of the parish of Manchester.
Get your cameras on and make the skills on the track. People, it's time to be entertained. Welcome to Red Bull Cark Park drift. Rockabomb. I see them as don't like have a shirt on our squeeze with Rockabomb. Sorry. What is so violent? Alright, Rockabomb. Get that correctly. Representing from Yanleyville.
Marshals, just please indicate to me. Flags, yellow flag, just let me know that everything is okay. Please look behind you. We don't want anyone across the sea to my right or the right. So please ensure that we have a clear track.
Exciting and limitless in the skills that he showcased, but there are a couple of mistakes there.
Absolutely, not a great run for him. He did the best he could at that time. He was the first one out. There's a lot of pressure on him, but he did touch a few cones, drifted a little bit wide, and those are going to affect his points. But he hit most of the points that he needed to hit, and that's critical in this. So, good try for Rajay Smith. Rotterdam going out, and we're looking forward to the second run. Mr. Andrew Chambers coming out shortly.
Yep. So 26 years old, out of the parish of Manchester, Rajay, and well, let's see if that's enough for him to get into the top 8.
Well, he did say his favorite thing is to love going forward in a sideways motion. That's what he said, and I love that kind of thing, and that's the kind of mindset that you need in this type of sport. Straight will never get you anywhere. It's always sideways.
And then from the 4 remaining drivers, we are going to select a person who will represent Jamaica at Saudi Arabia.
Andrew Chambers is up next.
Drift Finals 2022. Mr. DJ, make sure you have some nice tune.
They call him Lexus Boss, out of the parish of Manchester, 35 years old.
Yes, 35 years old, but he's driving an IS300 swap with a 2JZ motor, but it's not turbo. So it's going to give you high revs, and we're looking forward to that because we want that explosion sound, and you get points for that.
This is Lexus Boss in Manchester in the second track. Let's see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, do remember, at no time at all you want anyone to run on the track when the drivers are out there. They don't have a second chance, so please do not interrupt them.
Let's take a look at what took place in that first run.
Right. Off the bat, he went extremely wide trying to hit that apex. Comes wide again on the second turn, and that's not good for time right now. Mind you, it's still slippery out there, and let me tell you, by the time we hit number 20, that track will be completely dry. He touches the cone right there, so he's lost space and time. But he slaps that pendulum, and that's what he wanted to do. Lovely entry right there into the box. Beautiful control, beautiful exit. Did a good job. That cone is the only thing that seemed to have given him a warm time. But I think he can hit it. He has 2 more chances.
He's hoping that he gets through. 148 points from 300. He'd be disappointed with getting less than half.
I'm telling you, going wide and hitting that cone is going to cost him. I told him that I knew exactly what's going to happen, and this is what you have to look out for. It's not just the sideways, it's the full control of the car, and it's imperative that they hit it on the nail tonight.
And then from that we'll crown the king of drifting at the Red Bull Cark Park Drift Series.
Make that mistake, it's sometimes very difficult to regain momentum and come back.
It's quite disheartening for Andre. I know he's feeling it right now, and mentally it's stressful. This is the big person time now. This is big leagues. It's no joke. And here he started off lovely, entering into that first chicane, drifting a little bit nice, and he lost it completely when he collided into those cones. He couldn't recover from that, and that has hurt him seriously tonight. Unfortunately, that might be it for him. Number 2, Andrew Chambers.
Has been drifting for about 7 years, so he has a little bit of experience behind him. But remember that all this, in terms of the obstacles, pretty new to Jamaica, and they have to just been practicing the last few months, weeks for many of them.
Absolutely. This is difficult. This track is a brand new track. They have never raced this before, or this type of track. Typically, they do time events, and this is something completely out of their realm, and they're doing it excellently right now, but he did not finish, and it's unfortunate.
Yep, didn't get any points, so obviously he won't be able to go through to the top 8.
That's right. That's a DNF for the Lexus boss. That's the Lexus loss tonight.
Drift Kid is up next. And what are your thoughts on this?
I thought he came out with a vengeance. He was all about it. He was hitting the apexes perfectly, trimming the edges of the barrels, perfectly controlled, until he lost it up into that end by that cone. That cone seems to be a tricky boy. But it was lovely.
That was beautiful.
It was beautiful, but he did slap the barrel on the outside, and that's what we're looking for. No errors at all, and this is when he took the cone with him. So we're looking forward to seeing if they... Oh no, it seems as he DNF'd. Are we getting the correct information?
Well, we're just going to try and to get the confirmation for the score, but that was Stefan Samuels, aka Drift Kid. He got 166 points, so the best of the night that we've seen.
166, definitely. As I did tell you, he did hit those apexes perfectly, and we're very excited about what he did, because he did light up the audience, and that's what it's all about tonight. Impressing the judges, impressing your audience, and showing out. That's what we're here for tonight. That's what they want. That's what Red Bull is all about tonight.
Blue Blur is coming on the track.
This is...
Bobby and the Blue Blur. Remember him saying him pass, it's just a blur on the scene.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Blue Blur.
Extremely proud of what he has done.
What a spectacular run by Johan Bryan. He has racing in his DNA. His father used to be a big-time rally driver, Junior Bryan. And let me tell you something, this is not just a race prep car, this is a daily driver. He drives this car to work, back and forth every day, but wonderful car control for a daily driver. Excellent car. He does it all by himself. He has no pit crew, no big team behind him, no sponsorships or anything. This is him alone, him and his family, and he did an excellent job. And I'm very proud of this type of driving right here. And people should know that you don't need such an expensive setup. You can drive your daily driver as long as you know how to control it, do it in a safe environment. Or you can go to a school in Montego Bay or in Kingston to learn how to do this. And clearly Mandeville has a school that they're opening now, so they're doing very well. We're standing by for Nigel Wilmot, who I believe has swapped out his vehicle tonight for a second vehicle. I believe he should have been driving his RX-7, but tonight he is driving his Jimny as his backup vehicle.
Yep, so still waiting on the previous score, 122. So 150 would have been midway, and probably a little bit disappointed with that score in the end, 122.
Hey, he did not DNF, and that's a big thing. He's in the run-ins right now. He's still in the top 4. The official top 4, it's only 4 people so far. So he's there, but I'm quite interested to see what this vehicle does, because it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. And this is one of 2 all-wheel drives in the competition right now.
4, 3, 2, 1,
can just imagine what would have happened if he had his primary car with him tonight.
Can I tell you something? This man is the most innovative person right now. He himself has started over four-wheel driving in Jamaica, and him and Wilmot Motorsports, they're notorious for that. As you heard, I did start the commentary saying that this was a four-wheel drive car because initially I know this vehicle, but he has modified it to rear-wheel drive, limited only, hence the more accurate spinning on these cones. He's quite accurate, he's quite quick, and that's what the judges want to see, and he's hitting all the apexes. And look at how nimble, look how quick this car is. Wonderful drive, wonderful drive. Oh, touching the cone right there, shedding a little bit of time, but he did wonderfully this evening. Wilmot Motorsports with 134. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, 134 points out of 300. We'll take a look at the next spot. Johan Townsend on the track.
But Johan is also one of our youngsters, and just so you know, Montego Bay is a home for a lot of talented and great drivers, and they start out from a very young and tender age all the way up to the seniors.
And he's also from Montego Bay St. James, has been drifting for about 3 years. So let's see what he has to deliver tonight.
One more beer. That is it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Johan Townsend off the line.
So that's where most of his experiences and leadership would have come from in terms of what his father has done. He would be disappointed with how the course turned out and how he treated him in the end.
Like you said, he is a rally driver just like his old man. And like rally driving is not a problem. You understand that once you touch that car, it's going to have to be banged out, and he slapped that barrel really hard. But don't worry, a little duct tape and I'll buff right out. Not a problem for Johan right there. Spectacular move. The car is driving spectacularly. A lot of horsepower because this is a supercharged version of the BRZ, and it's the same platform as Mr. Johan Bryan. And I think we get the official scores right now. I think he has done 128.
Yep, 128 points. Remember, they are aiming for 300 points, which would be a perfect score. Not sure if anyone will be getting that tonight, but let's see.
It's a long night. You'll be surprised. Jamaica has a lot to offer right now, and this young man coming up right now from all the way from Westmoreland, from St. Anne, Mr. Damar Lee.
Yeah, just 21 years old. So let's see how he will fare tonight.
It must be noted, this is the only all-wheel drive car in the competition tonight. And this is going to be very exciting.
Four-wheel drive car. 5, 4, 3, 2, and he's on.
The vehicle is very hard to manage. This is not a rear-wheel drive, it's all-wheel drive. It's a completely set of different type of applications, gas pedal controls and everything, because the car is difficult to handle. It drifts differently, it handles differently, there's different torque, different power, and unfortunately he just decided to take the cones with him, hoping that the judge wouldn't see, but great effort and the crowd loved it. I don't think he's going to score highly, but let's see what he comes out with.
Room, please. That is it. Representing from over here. See him here.
So we are waiting for the score for young Demar Lee, 21 years old, and 243. Well, the highest of the night. There are a couple of mishaps. I'm a little bit surprised as to how high that score was. But next up is Rum Please, Stephen Paragon Singh.
Yeah, I'm quite blown away by that score. I need to check with the judges to see exactly what they scored points on. Was it the application? Was it the drift? Did he just hit all the marks? Or how many points did he deduct just for hitting the cone or moving the cone?
Rum Please on the track representing from over here. Over here, people on the field, Rum Please. 4, 3, 2.
Known as Rum Please.
Let me tell you something. If you have been to these gentlemen's compound, they own a truck yard in the hills of Montego Bay, and let me tell you, from 5 years old, these kids have been driving up and down in the backyard or shunting cars around their father's truck. They know exactly what they're doing. They know what damage is all about, and they're not trying to incur any. Wonderful drive by Stephen Singh, and we're happy. We're very happy with what he has brought out tonight, showing the crowd that it's not an easy course, but you can handle it with caution and care.
He clocked 194 points after that.
194 is not bad, not bad.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
194 points.
you might wonder how the drivers are scoring the points.
On the leaderboard, this is Cleve Otti Jr., also known as Cutter Hype, from the parish of St. James. He's a picture of concentration.
All right. So, standing by, we have...
Yeah, well, we have Cutter, you know, representing from over here again. I remember on the high school because the person is with. You know why you need all 3 trippers, right? That is it. So remember the rules, please.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wonderfully done by Cleve Otti Jr. Cutter Hype, his name.
Cleveland,
And he deserves the hype.
Cleveland, Cleveland Cutty High, Ati, let me tell you something. The man told me earlier this evening, he said, Barty, I have a passport and I'm looking at Dubai, you know. I'm looking to go to Dubai. I need visa. What a spectacular run. Hitting the apex perfectly. What a hell of a drive. Magnificent entry into these apexes. Takes the cone wide, slaps the dollies. Wonderful. I am wowed. And so are the Montegonians right now, and the people visiting into the Catherine Hall Entertainment Complex. Spectacular driving by Steve. Or Cleve.
Listen, DJ.
Where's the order here?
You want your score, because if I give you...
Please cut the hype up. You're just scoring a 269. That's the time.
Highest of the night, 269 points.
269. Please cut the hype up.
Wow. What a performance. Top of the leaderboard now.
Absolutely. We are not shocked about that. The loudness that came out, that exhaust, clearly is a point giver. The smoke that came off, the long drifting, the control, no error. Beautiful run by Cleveland Ati.
Travis Hewitt is up next, 28 years old, from the parish of Manchester. He's been drifting for 3 years, and he's about to do his route.
Yes, and he has a strange platform that a lot of people don't typically have. He's driving a BMW 320 converted into a drift car. He's running an M20 motor, and that's a difficult and expensive motor to run. But the Mandeville people knew originating drift and modifying drift in their lifetimes and their social pastimes. So they know exactly what they're doing, and he does for sure. Travis Hewitt is no newcomer to drifting or going sideways on streets.
Still reeling up because of that previous performance, and rightfully on top of the leaderboard. Cutter Hype, goodness me.
What a spectacular run, and that's what we're looking for, and that's what the crowd wants. We're very excited about it, but you know what? We have 10 more people, and we can find a winner tonight out of that top 10.
But I tell you what, the points don't transfer to the next round, you know. They start with a clean slate, and he has picked up over 260 points with this majestic run.
You're absolutely right, and he did it all well. I can't figure out at what point he lost points. Perhaps it was not enough wheel smoke because he was going so quickly, but he definitely had everything in order, and I'm just looking forward to the next 10.
Yeah, it almost seemed at times that he had it out of control, but it was strictly within his control. How he went around the cones, how he smacked the pendulum. It was magnificent to watch and hear as well.
The wonderful thing is that Cutter is one of the people that a lot of people are mentored by, and he also tunes their cars for them. But right now we have the top 10 vehicles right now, and we know that Cutter is in the first place so far.
Yep, on 269 points.
Damar Lee with 243 points.
I guess it's safe to say that Cutter Hype will be one of the top 8 to go through.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
We definitely have to wait and see. We have 10 more people.
We do have 10 more people, so you're afraid to call it.
I cannot. It's too early. It's way too early. There are a lot of more Montegonians in here, and they are serious about this business.
But if we see better performances than that, we're in for a show tonight.
That is it, man.
We are really in for a show tonight if we see better performances than what we just
and
saw.
let me tell you, these guys practice non-stop. I don't know who supplies them with tires, but they are definitely going through tires at daytime. It's unfortunate that we had a little bit of precipitation earlier, but because the judges are looking for smoke, and smoke is an essential part of a drift series. But we'll see what happens later with these cars out of Mandeville, and we have a few more cars from Montego Bay that can definitely deliver, I think.
Yeah, Travis Hewitt is one of the cars. He's in one of the cars out of Mandeville, and he's been drifting for about 3 years now. Started with the purchase of a 1989 BMW E30. Here he goes. Manchester made a couple of mistakes in his run, and let's see what the judges think of it. But as we take a look at the replay, what are your thoughts?
Clearly, Travis came to let them know that Mandeville is not to be underestimated tonight. Spectacular run, great power out of that car, and we're very impressed with it. Nice, tight, clean run until the second set of 360s, but I don't think he'll be heavily penalized. We got good sound, he hit his apexes, hit the obstacles that he should have with the back of his car, and he did excellently there. So let's see what the judges decide to come up with. I'm just terribly saddened that he murdered that last cone right there, but there goes the fire out of the engine, drifting wide and approaching into the 11. 212 points, ladies and gentlemen, I told you, showing Montego Bay that he will not be underestimated tonight. I know it down.
So Teddy Ranks picking up the points there. 212 points out of a possible 300.
I just want to remind you that this event is brought to you all courtesy of Red Bull. Now Financial, Secrets of Greatness.
As we've seen the top 10 cars performing. And we're standing by for Kinkish to come on board, Krishna Gardner. But overall, we've seen some good performances tonight. We really have, and the crowd loving it. Remember, we go to the top 8, and then they will advance to the top 4. And of course, the 4 will be aiming for the top prize to travel to Saudi Arabia for the world title.
It's quite exhilarating, quite exciting. I'm just looking in the crowd and the ahs and the oohs and the wows that everybody are exhibiting right now. It's spectacular. I told you, Montego Bay is alive and it's light and excitement, and the only thing shy is fireworks. And I'm feeling fireworks inside right now because this is exciting, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful spectacle this evening.
So this is Kinkish. Krishna Gardner, 39 years old, from Lincoln, Manchester. He has been drifting for about 15 years, so a lot of experience behind him. Let's see how he performs on the track tonight.
Mandeville people tend to like rear-wheel drive cars, and they're serious about it. This is an IS300 converted with a 2JZ, non-aspirated. And it's very exciting. Look at the neon lights underneath, and here we go.
That was the bad performance going through the obstacle course there. Kinkish, Krishna Gardner out of the parish of Manchester.
Yes, clearly a different type of vehicle and clearly different type of movement out of the car. As I said, this is a naturally aspirated car. It's not boosted in any way. So you're not going to get those loud explosions like from a Motec exhaust, but he did handle himself well. Good control. I think he was on a limiter way too long, and he did a Scandinavian flick, which was a pendulum move to enter this section here where he's going to do his second set of donuts, but he hesitated and took the car way too sideways, way too early. Took it into the corner, but beautiful execution, and he went through quite well. Slapped his pendulum, and I'm excited to see what his score is real quick.
Yep, 137 points. Not surprised, less than half of what was available, 300 points. So just 137 points to his name after that drive.
Up next we have Mr. Ramses McGregor, aka Ramos, driving his GTS 1616. Richie Ramos is only about 6 months into drifting in his entire life. He recently acquired this vehicle as his daily driver about 8 months ago, and he was fascinated with the sport and decided that he wanted to do this. And here he goes.
2, 1.
Then racing as a navigator, which he still does presently, and has been trying his hand at drifting for about 6 months. 36 years old, Ramses McGregor, also known as Ramos.
I'm happy that you did say that he did start off in rally driving as a navigator. As a matter of fact, he won a driver's championship as a navigator with Darrell King, long rest his soul. He's no longer here with us, but he did an excellent job training Richie on how excellent car control is supposed to be done, and he exhibited that tonight. Beautiful execution right here. I think he just barely glimpsed a cone and one drum, and then he had some gearbox problems on the last 11. But wonderful car control, and we're very proud of him. Ramos with a score on 89, and that's not bad for somebody who has just started compared to all these people who have been doing it for years.
Yep.
This is literally 6 months, and this is a daily driver car.
So Mad Scientist is up next. His name's Zachary Isaacs, just 23 years old, another driver out of Montego Bay.
Just want to remind everyone that we're going to go by 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Drifting for 7 years, the 23-year-old Zachary Isaacs. First got into motorsports when he was just 15 years old. And what are your thoughts on his drive tonight?
I thought that color of that car was popping and it was great. If you know Zachary and you're from Montego Bay, you know that they call him the Grim Reaper. Perhaps because he was once a mortician. But he's put his hand at drifting right now, and he's surely killing it for real out here tonight. Wonderful car control. I think you would want a little bit more horsepower out of that vehicle, and clearly he's having a little gearbox issue. This was not the car that he wanted to bring, but he managed to make scrutineering on time. And he should be happy with that because the crowd enjoyed it, and he's doing well. See, at 184, that's not a bad score right now. That could happily place him in the top 10 for this evening to carry him forward. That's the mad scientist, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Zachary Isaacs.
and also scoring points from hitting the obstacles, the flipper, the pendulum. These are all the drivers.
Ian Wright is up next, 46 years old from the parish of Hanover, and he has been drifting for 30 years.
3, 2, 1.
Ian Wright, and is coming with a performance tonight, the 46-year-old from the parish of Hanover.
Ian, a well-known motorsport enthusiast out of Anchovy, as a matter of fact. He went to school in Manchester, where students on the evenings would use to drift through the goalposts for kicks and thrills to impress people non-stop, and that's why he's been in this and showing perfect car control for such a long time. I'm quite disappointed with the type of vehicle and platform that he used, however. Apparently the turbo is too big, it's not building enough boost, and that's slowing down his pace. But when it does get up, the car is moving well. I just wish him the best. 183 from the judges right there. That's Ian, number 15, with his S14 Nissan. He's going to have to come harder with than that.
Z-Boss is coming up next. Sheldon Johnson.
I remember you representing the Galleyville.
Well, no, there has been a change.
Remember, they're not running against the clock. It's not a timed event. You need to hit the pedal.
LCD is coming up next, in fact.
You need to navigate the course the right and proper way to score maximum points. Everything that you go, they're going to touch, you're supposed to touch, you will lose points. That is it. So we have 8 things to represent the Mandeville. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dixon, aka LCD, going through the obstacles there. What are your thoughts?
Relatively new to motorsports, doing very well with the 4AG platform and the DX. This is like the ultimate car that you wanted to have to start out with. Perfect balance, perfect limited slip differential, good control. He did very well for a first time in this type of competition. Great handbrake control from that hydraulic handbrake. Perfect pendulum drift. I'm very proud of him, and his team should be very proud of him too. We're very excited to see what kind of scores he's getting out of this boosted car right now. He's coming into the 11s and completing it beautifully with that long drift into the finish. Beautiful, beautiful drive, number 17 LCD.
So he got 167 points. LCD. So here is the boss, Sheldon Johnson, 26 years old, from Southfield, St. Elizabeth. Has been drifting competitively for about 5 months.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I guess you can call him the boss, Sheldon Johnson, 26 years old, out of the parish of St. Elizabeth. Your thoughts on his run?
Let me tell you something. If you've been to Paris Plaza, St. Elizabeth, you know the name. This man is actually an examiner of motor vehicles, and I don't want him to just my vehicle out. But he did a spectacular run in that 350Z, well controlled, limited differential, very active, and you can see how it reacts really quickly. Not losing time, slapping those pendulums on time. Scandinavian flick went perfect just to tap that pendulum right there and entering these. Oh, lovely. What a wonderful cruise. I think he only had one mistake is when he approached...
yeah, the final stretch, but 222 points.
Wonderful run.
Yep, he scored that. Remember, it's out of 300. So that puts him in the top 5, I think.
I think, yes, definitely made the top 5. Like I said, it's spectacular. But ladies and gentlemen, we're down to the last 2 right now. I believe it's the last 3. On the stage, Maurice Whittingham, a.k.a. World Boss. He's driving a 86 with a S2000 engine, modified for this event. Let's go.
Tonight, Maurice Whittingham, also known as World Boss, he's chairman of the Montego Bay Motoring Club as we speak, and he is putting quite a run tonight.
Team Madden Motorsports, they're definitely no newcomers to this. Maurice is no junior to the game. Clearly he was having some gearbox problems, and short shifting was a difficult and stressful time for him. Drifting a little bit wide out of the corners, but his students are right behind him, and we're looking forward to Chris John and Nick Taz on the next run. Maurice with 241.
Yep, 241 points. And what a drive it was. What a drive it was for the man known as World Boss, drifting since 2005. That's CJ, a young man, 24 years old, from Montego Bay, St. James. Chris John Addison.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Christopher Chippy Addison, Chris John Addison. Sometimes it's all about the recovery.
What a spirited run. What a wonderful recovery, showing determination. I'm just wowed. And Montego Bay is on their feet right now. What a beautiful exhibition. I'm so proud of this young gentleman. He hasn't been at it too long, but he's definitely showing them that racing is definitely in his blood. His little 11-year-old brother is also drifting, and we should see him in the next Red Bull finals, hopefully next year. We're excited to see this.
His first ever drifting event was at the age of 8 years old, and he has been competing ever since. 24 years old from Montego Bay, St. James, CJ Addison, and he has garnered 252 points out of a possible 300. That's big for him.
That is big. That means that there's a lot of stress on number 20, Mr. Nick Taz Barnes, who seems to be a crowd favorite here in Montego Bay, and we're excited to see what he does. Number 20, Nicholas Taz Barnes on the line.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
See the best performance of the night.
Donald, I don't know. We are on or where everybody's jumping up and down right now. Everybody has lost their mind. This is crazy.
Nicholas Barnes, also known as Taz, he's been drifting for 9 years. The 23-year-old has impressed everyone.
What a hell of a run. No mistakes, no error. I think his car could have been a little bit louder. I don't know what engine he's using because that exhaust is not the loud plow that we're used to. But what excellent car control, hitting all the points, all 9. It's spectacular. I just love it. I just love what's going on tonight.
A bit of a showman too, waving.
Can I tell you, this is no simple feat. Showing excellent car control, one hand out the window. This is easy for me. This is how it should be done. There he goes.
Wow. Still awaiting the scores. They're going to come up shortly. And wow, here we are. 265 points.
265, which puts him exactly 4 points behind Cleve Cutter Height. So it seems we've got our 1 and 2 so far, ladies and gentlemen, putting Cleve Cutter Height in first place and Nick Taz Barnes in second so far.
So Rookie is coming up next. O'Dane Williams.
First in my driving, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
he doesn't look like a rookie. O'Dane Williams with that performance, 29 years old, out of Montego Bay. And I tell you what, he had to pick this up last minute. It's the first time he's driving it. Not too bad.
I was surprised that he actually continued to, or entered. I thought we had completely eliminated him. Luckily, he completed scrutineering on time, and he did exceptionally well for somebody who has not been racing that long. It's been sliding cars from about 2014, and wonderful car control. If you know this car before, it used to belong to Scott's Auto, and it's named back to his son. So we're very impressed with what O'Dane is doing here tonight. The young rookie, good car control. Let's see what the judges have to say about him and his time tonight.
So the rookie does score 160. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the
160 points for the rookie, O'Dane Williams. We're going to be seeing the leaderboard shortly. But I tell you what, the 20 performances tonight, of course we had one driver who didn't finish and a couple of low scores, but for the most part, it's been an impressive performance.
Quite so. The contingency from Montego Bay seems to be putting on the pressure, but we did have some persons from Manchester, Mandeville, that area, that came to show that they're not to be outdone or underestimated tonight. Spectacular driving, spectacular car control, and the crowds are swelling in the Catherine Hall Stadium right now. Everybody has come to see who will be king, the Red Bull King of Drift for the Caribbean. Do remember the event winner will be going on to Dubai to compete in the finals. And let us just talk about the three judges who have been doing some serious work here tonight, ensuring that we've got some great points for these persons. Tonight we have Mr. Richard Reary, an avid and well-known driver in Jamaica.
Yep.
We also have Mr. Doug Hollywood Gore, who is with us, and we have nobody who is strange to speed, Mr. Asafa Powell.
Yeah, of course, known for speed, although a different type of speed on the track. And of course, a former world record holder over 100 meters, and definitely took our track and field to a new dimension in the 2000s.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Like I said, this is the largest drift competition. It doesn't shy away from spectacular performances. Each filled with tire screeching, engine revving, smoke burning, excitement. It's not easy feat to be a judge for a final like this. Given the breathtaking performances here tonight as drifters face obstacles set by Mr. Abdo Fagali. And if you know Abdo, he was a rally champion out of Lebanon 3 times running. But it's a hell of a course that we have here tonight, and we're very excited by it.
Yeah, but we've seen a couple of outstanding drives.
Who would you call your top 3 so far?
I can only tell you 2. I can tell you Cutter Hype, and I can also tell you the second to last performance of the evening, who really impressed us all with how he attacked the track. That was Taz.
Nicholas Taz Bars, definitely. Not to be dismissed, CJ Addison, Chris John, spectacular performance. So,
Cutter Hype on top, 269 points, 4 points ahead of Taz. So, again, those two on top.
Very close, but CJ is not far behind, 3 points behind Taz, and he can easily make that up. Damar Lee in his all-wheel drive Subaru doing very well, and rounding off the top 5, we have Mr. Maurice Whittingham, the world boss. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going into Heat 2 shortly.
Yep, so we've seen some wonderful action in this first heat, and we're standing by for the second round, which will just have 8 drivers. The top 8 from this first heat will go and compete in the second round of competition. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with so much more of the action from the Montego Bay Sports Complex in Catherine Hall. welcome back to the Montego Sports Complex in Catherine Hall as we are approaching heat number 2 in the Red Bull Cark Park Drift here at the Montego Bay Sports Complex. This is the top 8. The top 8 will be competing in this second heat, starting with Cut Hype and Taz. The top 2 based on the points accumulated in heat 1, and Cut Hype will actually come out last based on the fact that he had the most points in heat 1. Rum Please will come out first.
Quite an exciting night here in Heat 2. This is when they will actually apply the ninth obstacle that is critical for continuing to Heat 3 or the finals. So these are our top 8, ladies and gentlemen. Kutaheim, Taz, CJ, Damar Lee, the World Boss, Z-Boss, Teddy Ranks, and Rum Please. And as you said, it's the last from the bottom and the bottom to the top. We're going to start off with Mr. Rum Please, Mr. Singer, all the way from Anchovy. Like I said, no stranger to motorsports. These kids have been racing in their backyard for years upon years. And they can build anything because they are mechanics themselves. They can fix it. And it's going to be a spectacular night with all of these people competing. As you notice, majority of these people are Montagonians, a strong Montego Bay contingent, and it's quite impressive that some of the world best are coming out of this little parish of St. James.
Talk to me about the overall quality that you've seen from that first round. Were you impressed?
I was definitely impressed. There was significant car control, a lot of pendulum swings, a lot of use of Scandinavian flicks, and these are motorsports terms about car control, which are critical to expedite your turns and the course effectively. We are not disappointed. The crowd here are not disappointed, and it's just, like I said, spectacular, quite spectacular.
And you expect the competition to heat up now as the top 8 will, after this round, be reduced to the top 4 for the final round.
Now that they've had this first run and they know where their sure footing is, the track has dried up. They know how much power they're going to have to apply now to get that wheel spinning, to get that smoke that the judges want. I'm sure they know exactly what they need to do. It's up to the best of them right now, and if their car can manage. Like you saw earlier, certain people had gearbox issues, could not shift quick enough, could not swing fast enough. I went into the pits a while ago and I literally saw blood on one of the driver's hands because of how hard he had to be steering and trying to correct himself. Even though he was wearing gloves, it ripped through his gloves. So it's serious competition out here, and I'm looking forward to it.
Wow, that was some description in terms of what the drivers have to go through and what they have to endure to be the best. And right now they are trying to be the best in Jamaica. Steve Singh is getting ready to make his mark in Heat 2.
The youngest Singh out of Anchovy, out of the Singh Racing Camp in his GTS 1616. That 1600cc 16 valve. Very fast, very efficient motor for this track. And he's doing well to be one of the youngest and being placed in the top 8 right now. That's spectacular for him.
23 years old, from Montego Bay, Stephen Paragon Singh, also known as Rum Please.
He said his idol is Ken Block. And I don't know if you know Ken Block. This man does everything, and he's doing a lot for motorsports internationally. Matter of fact, Ken Block is doing the Nitro Rally Series right now, and our own Jamaican, Fraser McConnell, is in that series. He's carrying Nitro Rally across the world, and we're very proud of Fraser, what he's doing across the world right now. We wish him all his best in his career. But like you said, Ken Block influences a lot of people, but all these people in the top 8, majority of them have inspired motorsports, drifting in Montego Bay, in Jamaica, and I'm just so happy that the world is getting to see this little part of the island or our island competing on a world scale, and that we have excellent drivers coming out of the Western region. your top pick for tonight?
Well, I've been super hyped by two in particular, and there will be the last two to perform in Heat 2. And I tell you what, I'm actually really looking forward to that.
5, 4.
Well, we're going live.
3, 2, 1.
The 23-year-old from Montego Bay. I guess the question is, did he do better the second time around?
I think that was a more controlled, more effective, and a faster run. But I don't know if he had pleased all the judges' expectations. Like I said, there was an extra ball, a pendulum that was in there, and I don't think, from our view, if he hit it, I'd have to refer to the judge, and I'm sure they're going to make the right decision on this call. It's a lovely run, wonderful control, tight on those lines on the barrel. Beautiful pendulum swings, drifted a little wide on the second barrel, but entered perfectly into the third turn. There he goes, drifting, tightening up on that handbrake. Wonderful control as he escapes, drifts wide to slap that pendulum on the left-hand side, did well. Enters the donut, and he's going a little bit wide, and he slaps it. There it is. Wonderful car control. It is truly difficult to do exactly what he's doing. But wonderful run by Mr. Paragon Singh. Clears the 11 box. Lovely. And comes to a halt right here for his finish. Brilliant run, number 9, Mr. Stephen Paragon Singh in his GTS 1616.
Question is, what's his score going to be after that drive? Needs to have a good start here.
I know that everyone is,
in the top 4, eh?
Everyone is on their toes right now. They're exciting and biting nails. It's critical right now that these points come out on time because the teams are pushing for the best.
Everybody on edge. Still awaiting the scores for Rum Please here.
Coming up next would be Travis Hewitt in his 2JZ swapped E30.
On the line with his BMW.
Travis Hewitt is coming up next, by the way, but still waiting the scores for Rum Please. They have awarded a DNF to Rum Please, so disappointing for him. Obviously won't be able to make the top 4.
Disappointing for him and his entire team. It was a wonderful drive. Like I said, I do not know if he did not hit that last pendulum. And I said it would be down to the judges, and it seems like that was a decision by the judges. I know it's a rough job that these judges have, and it's unfortunate. The crowd seems a little disappointed right now with that. But he definitely won't be making the top 4. So we're moving on to Mr. Travis Hewitt.
Yep, also known as Teddy Ranks.
Teddy Ranks in the building.
Out of the parish of Manchester. Let's see what he'll do.
3, 2, 1.
wonderful run by Travis, completing the course in a record time so far. But remember, time is not it. It is to complete the obstacles. And I don't know if you noticed that when Travis came out, his bonnet was off and his exhaust was shooting flames through the top of that vehicle. Have you seen that?
Yep. And as I said before, it's sometimes just about recovery and completing the course. It's not about time. And he completed the course in the end, did Travis Hewitt. Drifting for about 3 years, Travis. And started with a purchase of an old 1989 BMW E30.
I believe he got that from a friend.
Yep, he did.
A friend of his that you had told us about. But
So he's on the board, 130 points.
Hey, at least he's made it to the board.
Yep.
Wonderful car control. It's a difficult platform, E30 with a 2JZ, but he's managed to handle himself well this evening. Good job, Travis. Good job.
SportsMax is carrying it. And once again, this event is brought to you by Secrets Breathless.
Sheldon Johnson is coming up next. Looking forward to see what he will do. He's also known as Z-Boss, or Z-Boss if you prefer in Jamaica.
He's definitely the Z-Boss, a man well known out of Pines Plaza, St. Elizabeth. Like I told you, this man is a vehicle examiner at the depot, and he tests your vehicles, and I don't want this man testing my vehicles.
Z-Boss.
Well, that was interesting because we expected him to do 2 at the very end.
Yeah.
He just did 1.
Yes,
Is he in danger of being disqualified?
I am not sure, but I'm quite positive that should have been 2 donuts in turn 9, the 9th obstacle for his exit. But let's see what the judges have to say. Maybe it's one-time entry. I would love to hear from a judge on that.
But I tell you what, outside of that, it was a fabulous drive. It really was. And it would be so unfortunate if a DNF was to his name.
No, he's in the running.
Nope.
He did a 264.
264.
So I don't think it matters how many times you enter, as long as you enter it.
World Boss.
And finish in it.
Yeah. 264 points to his name.
Great
out of
run.
a possible 300. Comfortably on top right now. World Boss is coming up next. That's Maurice Whittingham.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're still in our top 8. This man on the track right now has taught legends, has brung legends to Montego Bay, Jamaica, and Jamaica. He's the world boss because he knows exactly how to spin a car the right way. He's no newcomer to this. All the way from Montego Bay, Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen, Maurice Whittingham, aka World Boss.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
AE86. And his 4 boys looking on would be pleased with what their father has done tonight.
Absolutely, those 4 young gentlemen are in for a world treat, but let me tell you something, Maurice handled it well. He did the best that he could with what he has right now. Drifted a little bit wide, a little loose on the control into some of the chicanes, and he definitely missed one of the dangles that were out there, the first one. So I am looking for
this one here.
Yeah, that's the one where he missed. That's the pendulum. But I think he did well overall. We're just waiting on the judges to see it. Wonderful car control, and he did what the judges wanted him to do.
Yep. Let's see if it's going to be enough to make the top 4. Of course, we're not going to know until all 8 drivers go through the obstacles, but let's see how big of a score he'll get after this.
Absolutely. Number 4 on the circuit, Maurice Whittingham, world boss, with a 148.
Yep.
Oh, that pendulum really lost some points.
Yep. Well, it's going to be difficult for him with a score like that to be in the top 4, but the other drivers would have to come good. Demar Lee is up next.
Demar Lee racing the most difficult of vehicles tonight, an all-wheel drive Subaru WRX. Only because the all-wheel drive can't spin cycle as quick as other vehicles, as the rear-wheel drive vehicles. You can't toss it around as easy. It's a different type of driving. It's a different type of driving skill. But here he goes. Demar Lee.
Has been drifting for about 2.5 years. What are your thoughts?
Demar Lee aced it. Let me tell you something. I'm not even worried about the little errors that he had hitting those cans. Handling that vehicle in a 4-wheel drive reminded me of one of our judges, Richie Reary. He is known as the Puma boss and the STI killer. And this man drove just like Richard Reary, handling it like it's his baby. Like this is what he can do every day, all day. It didn't matter. The crowd loved it. And I think he's going to score really high tonight with that run. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful control of the car. But Donald, we're down to our last 3.
It's getting spicy. Would love to see the points that he got after this run. And he got 188 points.
188 points, which puts him ahead of Maurice Whittingham right now.
CJ is up next. Chris John Addison, another Montagonian.
Let me tell you something, he's one of the most jovial fellows. At any given time when you look at him or you greet him, he is smiling, he's happy as a lark. Life is wonderful, he's never bothered about anything. I'm just so happy that he's reached this far so quickly. And he's on his way now, let's go.
out of the parish of St. James with another fabulous performance.
I see the crowd flashing their fingers like that red car hot like pepper. Let me tell you something. That was a spectacular run by Chris John Addison. Drifted a little wide on some of the things and some of the apexes, but he was definitely giving it the best that he could. Had a difficult second gear on the second leg of the course, but he recovered well. Slapped that apex right here real quick, hit the first pendulum into a Scandinavian flick. Did very well, did very well. I'm not disappointed with him. But ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 more left. I'm excited to see. With a 2, is that a 218?
In the end, 218 points. Not bad at all.
Not a bad drive at all. Like I said, he didn't hit some of the apexes, and the judges are watching. They're listening. On the track now, Nick Taz Barnes, who seems to be the crowd favorite here in Montego Bay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's see what the 23-year-old will come up with tonight once more. Nicholas Barnes.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Nicholas Barnes, the 23-year-old from Montego Bay, Jamaica. A crowd favorite here, and another wonderful performance from him.
Spectacular driving. His notorious one hand out the window was on show. But let me tell you, it was a very quick pace, very quick time that he did, but I'm telling you, it's not about time. It is the control of the car, how you effectively hit the barricades that you're supposed to hit, and that's what we're looking for. But on line next is the man that knows how to cut people's throats. It is Cleveland, Cutty Hype.
But talk about this one though, it really was a complete performance by Nicholas Taz Barnes. Went through it smoothly, had so much confidence, almost bordering on arrogance with how much he controlled the vehicle he was in. Look at that. And he did one more for good measure. Wonderfully done.
It seems as if it's
270 points.
270.
It's the highest score of the night. Nicholas Barnes in control of this one.
We are wowed right now. 270, the highest for the evening. Currently, Z-Boss is behind him with 264. But what does Cleveland Otti have in store for Nicholas Taz Barnes?
He has to keep his wits about him. He has to complete the course. That's critical, right?
Quite critical right now.
Just needs to be in the top 4. Doesn't need to be top of the leaderboard. Just need to make it in the top 4. Can he hold his head?
I am sure, but let us not hold our breath. Let's see.
2, 1, cut time.
from Cleve Otti Jr., aka Cutter Hype, the 35-year-old from St. James, with another performance to remember.
What a spectacular display of car control. Cleveland Cutter Hype has outdone himself here tonight, and I'm definitely sure he has made it into our top 4. We await the time from our judges, but the points from our judges, but without a doubt, wow, I am just wowed, I am floored. He has outdone himself. I am completely speechless. I am speechless. Donald, I apologize sincerely. I am floored.
All right, people.
You question whether there is high-quality talent in Jamaica? Eat your heart out. Fabulous from Cleve Otti Jr. Definitely into the top 4. But he really did just turn on the style here, didn't he?
He did, absolutely. The crowd loved it, and they showed him nothing but love to his run.
255,
wow.
Enough for second on the leaderboard. And wow, the top 4, or third on the leaderboard, in fact. And I tell you what, the top 4, so close. Can you choose a winner? Can anyone choose a winner? Well, they'll be on the track in a few more minutes. But I tell you what, it's been incredible so far tonight.
It has definitely been. It looks like it's a Z-Boss right now. CJ, Nick Taz, and Cutter Hype that may be making it. We're waiting for the official scores on the grid. But let me tell you something. Red Bull and Team Drift across the world, they know that serious competition is coming out of this island going into this drifting competition. They are not short of talent, and they're young, they're energetic, and they're doing very well here tonight.
The crowd is buzzing. The crowd is buzzing as they await the top 4. And some good drivers have been eliminated based on our initial look of what could be the top 4. But we are waiting on the official results to come to the fore. But whatever happens, the top 4, well deserved, and they'll be battling for one spot.
One spot, and all the people are fighting for this very one spot. I think that they need to, between Nick and Cutter, they need to get this passport ready. They need to call Babsy Green and say, hey, we need that passport and that thing to go to Dubai. And what if they...
So, let's take a look at the top 4. Taz, 270 points. Z-Boss, 264 points. Cutter Hype with 255 points. And CJ, Chris Addison, 218 points. You can see a clear demarcation, top 4 from the rest. And we're looking forward to that final round.
That is some significant point loss there for Damara Lee with the Subaru Impreza. But like I said, it's a difficult vehicle to handle in this type of situation. The World Boss not doing well as he should have, but as I said, he had gearbox issues, and you could see him struggling to find traction. Teddy Ranks not working well with that platform, but in a drift world, in the ideal drift world, that would have been the ideal car for him, but not for this competition.
Well, the final is coming up of this final, and we're looking forward to seeing the top 4 drivers race in a few minutes' time. Don't miss any of the action as we take a quick break and return with much more from the Montego Bay Sports Complex. What a night we're having here at the Montego Bay Sports Complex in Catherine Hall. As we head into the final heat, we have our top 4, Taz, Z-Boss, Cutter Hype, and CJ. And wow, what a night we've had so far. And this group, this talented group, will battle it out for one spot as they prepare to represent Jamaica at the World Final a little bit later on this year in Saudi Arabia. And the crowd looking on, hoping for a bit of action shortly. But they have been thoroughly entertained under the lights here in the car park, which is adjacent to the stadium that we all have come to appreciate, the Montego Bay Sports Complex, where football is played and at times track and field. And we're just moments away from the final round beginning here in the car park. And wow, what a night so far. Big night it has been so far, Garth.
Absolutely. Nothing short of excitement here at the Captain Hall Stadium in Montego Bay, Jamaica. It's a lot of exciting, and here's my friend right here on the screen. I told you he's the most cheerful person I know. Chris John Addison, out of Team Addy Racing. These are the top four.
So, CJ Addison getting ready to make his mark for the final time. It's a clean slate, remember. The points don't carry over. Let's see what he will do and the mark that he will make.
Who will be taking the trip to Saudi Arabia? Moment of truth. Final four.
So we're down to the final four, and on the line now we're seeing Chris John Addison driving his Addy Racing prepared.
Low, DJ.
Corolla. Take it down. We're at the final four. We're at the final four, so one of these gentlemen will be representing Jamaica later on this year in Saudi Arabia at the Red Bull Cark Park Drift Finals. We started at 20 drivers, we are now down at 4. Catching all, we are having a wonderful vibe so far. Keep the vibes going, keep it.
Over the years,
Keep
you
all the
give them
drivers
a
excited.
20 out of 10.
Final four, and we're going to go.
And they have pushed him, including his father, the veteran Christopher Chippy Addison.
Donald, I need you to know that at the end of the day, all four of these competitors in the top four are actually brothers in arms. They are friends. This is not a vengeful thing. They are just happy for one another. So it really doesn't matter for them. But I know they're gunning for that top prize. And they have done excellently tonight and showed the world what Jamaica has to offer.
No mistake now.
This is the best of the best. This is it.
No mistake now.
Absolutely no chance for error. This is it. This is where you have to show who is who and what you have to prove. Chris John Addison on the line, standing by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Finite.
Go through the obstacles. The 24-year-old out of Montego Bay St. James, drifting for 9 years, describe that effort.
Wonderful execution of car control, wonderful application of power to steering ratio. I loved it. The entire move off, everything. He was quite quick, quite efficient, very tight on his lines. As you can see as he does his donuts, well controlled. Looks like no problem for him. There was an awe moment. But he did well. I'm very proud of Chris John right now. And I'm not disappointed with his. He should score highly. I think he hit every single one of his barriers. And the one catch where his car lost traction and then he had to reapply the pressure was the only factor that may have let the crowd down, but he definitely did not let us down in our hearts.
We're on top 4.
Yep. Probably will not accumulate the most points in his efforts through the rounds with that drive, but he has laid down the mark.
He definitely has.
178 out of a possible 300.
He has set a benchmark for the final.
That's a benchmark. Who is coming next?
On the line, please, cut a hype.
Red Bull Cark Park Drift Series.
A person that works well with CJ, works well with Nick Taz Barnes. If anything, I tell you, they're in Jamaica, they call it bench and batty. You know, you're very close.
Very
if you
close.
see one, you will see the other. It's like peas in a pod. So like I tell you, it is cheerful rivalry right now, but we'll see what they have to show tonight. And Cutter Hype is definitely going to give us a hell of an exhibition right now.
He describes his drifting style as calm, smooth, precise.
Well, let's see how calm, smooth, and precise he'll be on this run.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Jr., also known as Cutter Hype, the 35-year-old from St. James. Wow, just wow.
They call him Cutter Hype because he cut through the track just like butter. That was the smoothest, most amazing run we've seen all night, and he has outdone himself on that, tapping every single obstacle that he needed to complete this task. He did it well. I think we have our top 2 already. I think we have our top 2. I don't know, Donald, what do you think?
He has to be on top of the leaderboard after that one. We have 2 more to go after this. And it's a magnificent performance from him. 300 points, the total score. That's what he aimed for perfection. And it was as close to perfect that he's been all evening.
Beautiful car control. Beautiful. That rear-wheel drive limited spinning perfectly. I'm so excited.
270 points.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Topping equaling Nick Taz Barnes' last score.
Yep, but remember,
those
points in the previous round, they do not count.
Right.
At the moment, he's ahead, and 2 more drivers to go. Can they be 270? That's difficult. That is
a monumental task that the Z-Boss and Taz have ahead of them right now. A whole difference of 108 points between CJ and Cutter. Wow. A hell of a drive going on tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in Catherine Hall, Montego Bay.
Sheldon Johnson up next. What can he bring?
4, 3,
the examiner out of Southfield, St. Elizabeth, the 26-year-old. Another top display, but is it enough? Will he get over 270 points? That's the big question after this performance.
Well, you have to remember, Donald, that there are key factors to winning this round. There are obstacles that you must touch, and he missed 2 of them. This is a difficult run. I think it's a disappointing run for him. He did the best he could, but I don't think it's good enough for even top 3.
All right, hold on, I need you. The examiner scored 207. Give it up for the examiner. All right. Ready? This is it, This is it.
So, as we take a look at the final obstacle there, 207. 207, which is good enough for second
or
third, depending on what happens next.
The Catherine Hall Stadium are on their feet in anticipation. I see persons lifting up babies to see this run.
Superb all night, and this final run, is it worthy of at least 270 points? It's been immaculate so far from the 23-year-old in his hometown, Montego Bay, in front of his home fans.
I am completely floored. The crowd is roaring. What an awesome run by Nicholas Tasbar, showing perfect control, waving his hands in the air as he takes the pendulums. Spectacular run, absolutely spectacular run. The GTS platform is spectacular. It works for him. He knows his car completely, hitting every apex perfectly. The pendulum swings, the balls, the donuts, the control spins. Car 99 is really his car, and he knows by putting those 2 fingers up in the air. What a run by Nicholas Tasbarnes.
Can he chill with the big boys? He's a big boy himself. What a performance again from Nicholas Barnes. We await the score. The magic number is 271. Can he beat it? That's the big question. But he has been superb tonight.
Absolutely, we are biting nails. It's biting toenails too. I see the crowd looking worried. It's serious
What's the
right
score?
now. We anticipate the score, which is about to come back. Oh my goodness.
We're waiting. We're waiting. But it's going to be close.
Anticipating.
The magic number is 271. Did Nicholas Barnes do enough to represent Jamaica in the world final in Saudi Arabia later this year?
I'll tell you
That's
what.
the question. He did.
It's
270. It's tied. Wow.
What do you do in the event of a tie? Wow.
If it's a tie, the winner with the highest scores from the previous round, and it would be him.
Actually, the previous round, Chris John did 218. Cleve Cutter Height did, he did 270.
Yep.
Yes.
Taz did 270 in the previous round as well.
So it looks
which
like,
means that he's the champion.
unofficially, It seems as if Taz will be going to Dubai. We are waiting the official timekeeper score, the official judges' scores, but it seems as if, undeclared and unofficially, Nicholas Taz Barnes from Montego Bay, Jamaica, will be going to Dubai.
Wow. Wow.
A 23-year-old from Montego Bay.
His father, a retired racer. He grew up in a racing household, but none in his racing household would have got the opportunity that he's close to getting tonight in representing the country in Saudi Arabia at the World Final later this year.
I think we definitely have to look back at this replay because we have to be critical of this, and this is what the judges were looking at. The perfect execution of his donuts, how effectively he entered and pivoted on these cones, but the command that he has over this vehicle, touching these obstacles that are essential. Wow, he just wowed everybody tonight. I have no doubt this is our champion.
He's not going to be out of class in Saudi Arabia. He's going to be right up there with some of the best in the world. And I tell you what, it will be more than just about him competing and making up number. He's going to be representing Jamaica. He's going to be representing the Caribbean. He's going to be representing the Western Hemisphere in Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely.
And if you just look at this performance, this majestic display of skill and determination with a hint of arrogance, you realize that he has what it takes to be one of the best in the world.
Donald, it seems like I have to leave you shortly because I'm going to go into the pit so that everybody sees me with him so I can go to Dubai as well. I need to get to Dubai with Team Taz. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going into the pit.
Wow.
Spectacular evening. The crowd are still on the toes, awaiting everything and awaiting the results, the official results. I don't know. It's nail-biting.
Yep, we are awaiting the official results. The official results as they look over everything that has transpired tonight, but critically what took place in the previous round because of the tie that we have on hand.
But what a spectacular turnout from all the spectators. I never knew that so many people in Jamaica enjoy drift. And I met a bunch of Spanish people that were here from the Dominican Republic, some from Costa Rica who came here only because Red Bull Drift was here in Jamaica.
Yep.
Drifting is alive and well in Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen.
No more underground.
Never again.
Certainly center stage.
We are definitely center stage. Little, but with Talawa.
Perfectly timed in the aftermath of what took place last night, which you would have seen on the Home of Champions, with the Talawas winning the Caribbean Premier League. But I tell you, in terms of this island being a Talawa nation and competing on the world stage, we are excited to see who we push out for Saudi Arabia later this year. But Razzmatazz from Nicholas Barnes, and Taz, his nickname, again, center stage, just 23 years old. It's really incredible how young he is and how he started off. But the fact that he's just 23 years old speaks to the fact that we truly have a bright future ahead. And just to confirm, Taz, Nicholas Barnes on top, 270 points, same as Cutter Hype, who finished in second spot on 270 points. But because of what took place in the previous round, where Taz also accumulated 270 points,
that's correct,
he literally won on countback.
Absolutely. Spectacular run. The whole camp should be so elated. Team Taz Racing out of Montego Bay, Jamaica. The young veteran
Yeah, if we can
he
describe
will,
him
now,
like that,
he
yes.
will be now the young veteran, the first young person, or the first person in history out of Jamaica to compete in the Red Bull Cark Park Drift competition and successfully complete all rounds and head to the World Finals in Dubai. I'm so elated that Jamaica is doing this spectacular thing right now.
We always speak about the fact that all Jamaicans or top athletes from countries that don't have the financial backing, that all they need is just the opportunity to excel. He got the opportunity, the 23-year-old, and he has grabbed it with both hands.
Yes, you're absolutely right. A lot of the talent that is in Jamaica do not have the financial backing. They don't get the sponsorship, and when they do compete, they don't win money, they win a trophy. It's really bragging rights. It's difficult to endure in this underground world, which is no longer underground for us. We are now on a world scale. So encourage them. I urge the private sector to engage them and give them the sponsorship and the backing that they need to endure and continue this type of event. We're waiting on the announcers to make an official announcement.
So we're still waiting on the official results from the judges as they make sure that everything is checked in terms of the specifics in regards to the drifting, which is the one that's scrutinized the most in this type of competition.
I am quite interested to know exactly how the judges determine these points specifically to allot these exact points, because I saw spectacular runs from different persons and assumed that they would have progressed along, only to see a lower point standing.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that our judges...
So there are the judges on the track, and Asafa Paul, of course, in the striped shirt, formerly the world's fastest man, the world record holder over 100 meters, being a part of the selfie with
Douglas Hollywood Gore.
Yep.
Alongside Richard Rary.
Yep.
And Johan all the way from Germany. We're going live to what is happening down on the stage right now.
All right, people. For third place, give it up for Sheldon Johnson. Z-Boss, give it up for the third place winner, people. That is the examiner. Give it up. Congratulations, Z-Boss, our third place winner. Give it up for Sheldon, people. Come on, people. Out of 20 drivers, he came third, representing for St. Elizabeth. Make him feel good catching all. Cheer him on, that was beautiful. Our third place, Z-Boss. Say hi, man. Wave back to him, people. Make him feel good, no, man. Let him entertain you, no, man. Wave back catching all. One Z-Boss. That is it. Here we go. One more time as he exit the vehicle. Make him feel like a winner. Make him feel like a winner. This is the Z-Boss catching all. Third place. Red Bull Cark Park Drift. Z-Boss, our third place winner. Congratulations. And here we go, people. We are our second place winner. Clive Atty, the one, the only. Cutter Hype. Give it up for Cutter Hype catching all. Clive Atty, people. Yeah, man, give it up for our second place winner. Wave to the crowd, make them feel that. Starting, you know, man. Wave back now, up here. Yeah, man. Cleve Atty. Yeah, man. As he may exit the vehicle, make him feel like a star. Make him feel like a star. That is it. Red Bull Cark Park Drift. That is second place. And catching all. Catching all. Mobile. The man himself that's going to represent Jamaica in Saudi Arabia. Round of applause with Nicholas Barnes. One does bar. Give it up. That is it. That is it. That is it. Give it up over here. Representing Jamaica and Saudi Arabia. One dance. Give them the big rock. Make him feel and step out like a star. Make him feel it over here. Catch it all. Our winner. One Nicholas Barnes. That is his congratulations. On behalf of Red Bull Cark Park Drift. Well done. Make him feel like a champion. And there's Joe giving it. Start to a star. Start to a star. Make him feel like a star. Come on, catching all. Make him feel like a star. Make him feel like a star, man.
Wow. What a sporting event. What an experience. What a night. And what a night for Nicholas Barnes.
Tears of joy from his father, embracing him on the announcement of his win. Junior Barnes elated. The entire Tasmanian Devil team excited right now as Nicholas Barnes, Taz, has become the Red Bull Cark Park Drift King and is on his way to Dubai. Little Jamaica is doing it worldwide, ladies and gentlemen. We are so happy. And it has been an incredible night. I want to thank you all for the opportunity of being here. And cheers of celebration right now and champagne for everybody.
Yep. As a kid, he started off in go-karting. That's where you'd get your experience if you want to enter into this field, this sport. But he's just 23 years of age. He started drifting, driving about 9 years ago. His heart is in it. The support that he gets is absolutely phenomenal, and he deserves it. I want to ask you, Garth, what you saw in this kid, why you considered him at the start to be the favorite tonight.
I have been watching Nicholas Barnes ever since he's been doing go-karting. He has outshined competition all the time. Nick is the type of person that typically comes to the event early on time, but he's the last one out, and he always beats his competition. There is no doubt in my mind that he would have evolved #1 tonight.
Wow. We're going to hear from the winner shortly. Nicholas Barnes, also known as Taz. Well, we're going to hear from him in just a little while. But yeah, this is just magnificent for him. The experiences that he'll have in representing Jamaica in Saudi Arabia later this year. And it's something that he will remember, winning the national final, the first of its kind in Jamaica, the first of its kind in the region, in the Americas, in the Western Hemisphere. And it really is something to remember.
Absolutely, but the wonderful thing about Nicholas right now is that he's no stranger to being in first. So all the lights and glare and glamour and everything will not change him. He's a determined individual. He's a competitive person. He is not one of those that are full of themselves. but he is wonderful, and he will do wonderful things and continue to do wonderful things. He's flooded by media right now. It seems as if he's doing a lot of interviews for the local vloggers.
Yep.
All the YouTubers seem to be doing their thing right now. But his fans need to see exactly what has happened. A proud Junior Barnes, just elated. Behind him in the green, Scott, another third person that has assisted him in tuning his vehicle for a very long time. And the entire team that has supported him all through this year. Catherine Hall Stadium still packed. I think they're getting ready for an after party. I have no idea what is planned.
Well, with the system that we've seen here tonight, there better be an after party. That's the thing. But again, what a night that we'll all remember for a long time, a night that Nicholas Barnes will remember for a long time. A 23-year-old from Montego Bay will represent Jamaica at the World Final later this year in Saudi Arabia. He really has a fantastic story to tell, but it truly has been just another chapter. A chapter where he has won over the hearts of the people inside the Montego Bay Sports Complex and those watching all around the world to see what little Jamaica can produce on the world stage later this year. It's been an absolute privilege bringing this to you, the Red Bull Cark Park Drift, live from Montego Bay in Jamaica. On behalf of the hard-working production team here at SportsMax, on behalf of Garth Holloway, my co-commentator, I'm Donald Oliver, signing out for the final time. Stay tuned to your home of champions.